Hello, welcome to the video. This is a Paladins tier list. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of the F tier in here. No, actually, I'll leave it. Never mind. Anyways, basically ranking the characters by how good I think they are. It's an opinion tier list. If you have different opinions, leave them in the comments down below. Alright, Androxus, very good. Good flying, solid in every situation. He's not necessarily the best at doing certain things. He's one of those, like, jack of all trades, so he's really good at everything. He's hard to get really good value out of, but if you learn how to, you can carry every single game. Ash, good. Solid pick. Works in almost every situation, always a good choice if you need a character. Atlas, very good. The reason Atlas is up here is because you can basically change an entire game because you can counter half the ults in the game with your rewind. And it gives crowd control immunity if you rewind yourself, so forth, so forth. He's a character that's hard to get a lot of value out of without screwing over your team, but you can if you learn how to, so that gives him an easy S tier. Azan's still broken. I don't really need to talk about this. He's still OP. Barrack, very good off point tank. There's only about 3 point tanks, so I'm just going to put them all up right now. They're all in the same tier. Mando and Inara, so I'll just give you all the differences between them. There she is. Alright, technically term 2, but he's not really a point tank, he's off tank. Inara is the best out of the 3 point tanks currently, I think. And then Barrack and Nando are very similar. Depending on your team comp, you could go with different one. Inara's the best because she gives herself high DR. Has a shield that can clean Scott off of her and her teammates if they hide behind it. Can give cripples. Can give crowd control immunity depending on talent. Has an ult that can lock down someone instantly. Her ult's basically good Cirrus ult. Does damage too. And then that basically makes her good, you know, not relying on shields. She doesn't rely on deployables either, before you say so. You can right click, and you get your own shield up. And then, using that, you have bonus healing, which is 40% currently. Barrack has good shield, good turrets. Turrets are pretty solid, they do decent DPS. Forge Fire sucks. They got nerfed, and it was already his worst talent, basically, or not his worst, but it wasn't good. Especially not at high levels, it's fine at lower levels. You always want to go with the shield talent, though, if you're actually trying to play point tank. He's generally pretty good. He definitely gets bullied by certain champions, which is why Inara's better than the other two, because she doesn't get bullied by anyone. Because, like, Dredge bullies Barrack really hard. One broadside takes down his entire setup at the same time. Nando, same as Barrack. He has a good shield, cleans his Scott off his teammates because they can hide behind it, which is similar to Inara's. But he also gets bullied by Wrecker. Both get bullied by Wrecker. So that's why they're lower. She does not. Sure, you can buy Bulldozer against her stuff, but even with that, it's still not going to help very much. And if you can take out Barrack's turrets, though, he loses a lot of DPS. So that puts him lower. BK, also very strong. The reason BK isn't up here, BK can definitely carry most games. BK is a very, very good character. He's hard to get a lot of value out of. But if you learn how to, you can carry every game. The problem with BK is he's server reliant because of how his deployables work, so he goes lower. Buck. Buck's good. Not the best character in the game. He's pretty solid. All around, he's pretty solid. He does get counter-picked, though, and he has his counter thing, so depending on the team, you'll either stomp or get stomped with Buck. Cassie, always good at pick. She's super reliable. Just, if you need a DPS, take Cassie. There's never a bad situation with Cassie. Because depending on what the other team's running, you can just change talents, because all her talents are good. Corvus. Corvus isn't great. He's good DPS. He heals your entire team, obviously. He can. He's not a very good solo support. He's a very good off support, especially if you have flanks on your team. The only problem is, flanks are not meta right now, which makes Corvus go down considerably. Because he's really good for a comp that just doesn't exist very much right now. If we go into a more meta sort of flank thing, he'll definitely go up. Dredge, same thing. Good DPS. Buck is one of those characters that's hit or miss. Dredge is pretty reliable. But then certain champions destroy him. And it's not hit or miss. He just, like Androxus, Drogos. Both those champions dominate him without too much effort. Drogos goes right here. Okay, so Drogos would be higher, except he gets counter super hard. I feel like I'm following, like, these characters all get bullied by certain things. Anyways, Drogos does really high damage and can destroy certain characters like Azan he's really good at. And anyone who has a wall, like Inara, good counter to him, because you can shoot on the wall. So now their wall is useless. Problem is, auto-aim, or good hit scans, bully Drogos. So it goes around. Evie. Same as Androxus. Extremely hard to get good value out of, but if you do, you can carry every game. Same with Alice. Hard to get good value. CSN's the only one up here who's just, I'm going to put it at the top right now. Everyone up here is going to basically be really hard champions to get good value out of, but if you put in the effort and time, you can get good value out of them. That will include some practicing in the shooting range, though. And Azan's the only one up here who's just overpowered. Furia. Okay, so I would say that, but Furia's not too difficult. But she's also extremely good. You can carry with her. But if you want to actually carry with her, you do need to. If you just go average, no. If you put in the time, yes. Furia. She has good burst healing. Has a beam that's OP. Basically, shuts someone down, so obviously good. All around good character. Oh, and game-changing ult. Best ult again, pretty easily. Because the damage bonus, you may not think it's very good. It's like 30% damage bonus, but it also gives you all your ammo back. So it's 30% damage bonus. And then on top of that, if you add that up between your entire teammates, because if your entire team does about 1,000 damage a shot, and then you 30% damage bonus, all 1,000 damage from every single one, that's 300 additional damage per person, times 5. You see how that starts. Over multiple seconds too. Adds up. Grok, he's solid. Good damage. His healing outputs, no. Don't solo support with Grok, but Spirit's Domain, you can do it. You can do it. But his DPS is what puts him up here instead of there. Grover, same thing. You can technically solo support. You shouldn't do it, but you can. The thing with Grover is he has a root, which is very good. And can lock them down. Both of these characters, so Grok and Grover, both have very strong ultimates. So there's the upside to both of those. They'd be one kind of characters that you want to run along with, like a Furia or an Io maybe. So you can have them on the main support, and then you can have one of these guys just trying to kill things and lock down kills for your DPS, like BK or Cassie or Dresh. Just locking them down. Imani. Okay, so Imani would be here, but she's Buggy Mess, so she goes D. She gets demoted for bugs, nothing else. She's just a bug mess. She's just good DPS, she has a cool ult. Like, sure, it gets countered by reveals, but she has a cool ult. It can be game-changing depending on how you use it. The problem is, she's a buggy mess, and half the time her abilities don't work. Io. Worse than Furia. By a little bit. The key reason Io's worse than Furia, so they both do good DPS, right? Decent range. Io has, like, no fall-off, I don't think. As far as I'm aware, she has no fall-off at all. Furia has a long-range shotgun, so they can both apply COD, that sort of stuff. She's a dog that you can split heal on people. It does good healing output. The thing with Furia, she's a good ultimate. Io's ult sucks fat ass. It is horrible. So, that's why she's here. If her ult was good, she'd also be here, but it isn't. Oh, and she's also, yeah. Genos, same as Corvus. Really good for pocketing. Can heal through walls, so forth, so forth. Same, good DPS, both do good DPS. Their ults, technically, can both be good. Corvus's can be good if you play it well. You can use it to block off roads and or like paths and stuff, roads. Genos' ult you can kill people with, but Genos' ult gets countered right now because you can buy Haven and Veteran, which counters his ult really hard, so it doesn't do anything anymore, because it sure hits them, but you can't finish the kill off. Corvus, though, his ult just doesn't kill anyone. Like, sure, maybe you get a gag with it every once in a while, but that's about all. Con is... same as Ashe. They both create really good space. Both do good DP, well, not good DPS, but Ashe does DPS in a much different way, where it's just very steady, annoying DPS and knocks people around. Con does good DPS, and like he does high DPS, doesn't knock people around as much. You can't throw them. Kinessa, good. Does high one shot. This list is definitely leaning this way. Yeah, Kinessa does high one shot. She can teleport out of the way, so that makes her good. Koga, he's fine, I guess. He's nothing special. He just does damage. That's like, he's a subpar flank, same with Lex. Lex, though, it's definitely better than Koga. So Lex does high DPS, and his ult one-shots all shields in the game. So a half shell, Makoa, wherever. I'm gonna put Makoa on here. Bear Cult. One taps on them. So that makes him good, and you can play poke with him, and he excels on certain maps, like Ice Mines, for instance. Whereas Koga's just kind of there. Leon. Still OP, because she auto-aims. You require no skill to use this character. Just kind of smash your face on the keyboard repeatedly. You'll win. Maeve. Same as these two. Just Maeve can't shut anyone down, and her ult gets hard countered by resilience. And people always buy Execute, or play Execute on her, which is her worst talent by like a lot. Has like 5% lower win rate, so don't do that. Play Cat Burglar. Or if you like the mobility, play Rogue's Gambit, but Cat Burglar is definitely the best talent. Makoa. Alright, Makoa's really good. He got buffed, actually, I think. I said Makoa's. Makoa's an S tier. So Makoa got buffed this update, more DPS, for reasons beyond me. He has a hook that you can just insta-kill people with. Because you can pull them in, shoot them, roll through them, they're dead. Problem solved. And he can point tank, because you can play half shell and point tank with him. He can off tank, play block. I don't know what Leviathan's for. You could probably do something with it, like maybe play a Ray on your team, but, you know. He's there. He's a solid character. Madeba. Same as Genos and stuff. They would be better, except for this update. This item store meta is weird. See, these ones get countered by Haven Veteran. Or like they get annoyed by it. Because Corvus is all kind of gets countered by it. The Corvus pocket. So Corvus would be better than these two, but Madeba gets countered by Resilience. Everyone can first buy that. Basically makes him useless because he comes as a heal bot. Moji sucks. Does DPS, has an invincibility, has an execute ult, has a dash, sounds good. She can't go up and down. She's a flank, she should be able to go up and down. Koga can climb up walls. Lex makes up for it by just being good, because he has high base movement speed. Hit, scan, can peek. Moji can't do any of those and she's close range. I'd say Octavia's kind of slept on. I haven't really seen her performing too well yet. It's slowly going up though. More and more people are picking her up. She's getting buffed next update. Whenever that comes out, I'll make a new tier list then, if things actually change. She is getting better, slowly, as people start using her more and more. Her cards are just all kind of suck. There's not much to run with her. Bib, he's fine. Heals. His ult gets countered really hard by Resilience. Realm's fine. His ult gets countered really hard by Resilience. His run gets countered by Ground Control. So that knocks him out, has a long cooldown. He's slow as hell. Ray is really good. She gives so much ult charge that just makes her good. It doesn't matter what the rest of her kit is. The amount of ult charge she can give can win you the game easily. Just put it on anyone with a good ult. And you will be a pain in the ass for the entire game. For instance, slapping that on a Fury ult. That is annoying. On a Grover ult, it's annoying. On a Grok ult, it's annoying. On a Drogos ult, it's even more annoying. It's maybe not as good as these two because it doesn't help your team, but it's really, really annoying on a Con ult. Annoying because he is an execute ult too. It's not supposed to be an execute, but basically it's because you just pick them up and you shoot them off the map, or your teammates shoot them, so it's basically an execute. Ruckus, very good. Sure, he gets bullied by Wrecker a little bit, but Ruckus is one of those characters that's just super hard to get actual value out of, but once you get actual value out of him, actually I'd say he's in an S tier. Once you get value out of Ruckus, he's extremely good. He is not a point tank, off tank only. And you always want to play aerial assault. He's an extremely good character, extremely underrated. People are like, oh, he's banned, not a good point thing, blah, blah, blah. No, good. Saudi, also good. Saudi is the same as Cassie, extremely reliable. See, BK is better than both of these people, right? Just high burst. You can just slap a few bombs on someone and nuke them. Makes him better. And he has crowd control and stuff, right? Cassie and Saudi are both super, super reliable. You can play them against anyone and do well, no matter what. But Saudi can block things with her deployables, because you can just place those down and body blocks for you, which is good, which takes caught off of you, so forth, so forth. Lets you run away, because you'll be invisible if you decide not to shoot. Seer's half tier. And I'll put her... Seer sucks. She right-clicks and heals. That's all she does. Her DPS is horrible. Her movement ability sucks fat ass. It does absolutely nothing. You'll activate it, and you go invincible, and someone walks after you and shoots you in the head with a fucking shotgun whenever you come out of it. It sucks. And if you want to make it actually good, then you have to use 5 of her ability points to make it good. That needs to be built into her base thing. And then if you want to make it better, you need to use the rest of your ability points to make it go faster. But now you can just walk away faster, and the other person's still going to be walking after you and shoot you in the head right when you come out. And while you're in it, you can't heal your teammates. So either you're invincible, and you can't heal your teammates, or you're either dead, which means you can't heal your teammates. So either way, your teammates are screwed. So don't play Cirrus. Shalan, good. Does good DPS. Has a cripple. He's underrated. He's really hard to use. Probably the hardest damage champion in the game to actually get good value out of. Damage champions are extremely... They're extremely easy. But out of the damage champions, he's definitely the hardest. He's not like Shalan, where you can just smack your ass on the keyboard, smack it on your head a few times, and win the game. You know, auto aim will carry the entire kit. Anyone who uses should, or it's no skill character. Shalan, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. if you don't time your bow draws all the way, you sometimes don't need to pull them back all the way. You just need to learn how far to pull them back. And yeah, he shoot the right people with your cripple arrow. You need to lock down certain people for your teammates to kill, so forth, so forth. He requires brain cells. He's good. Cirrus. No, wait. This one. The other useless one. Okay, she's the exact opposite of Cirrus. Well, not really. Instead of doing no DPS, she does high DPS, but then she does no healing. And has no ability, movement ability, exactly same as Cirrus. Her movement ability is like Cirrus's, except way worse, because hers, yeah, you can't go invincible. Her gun is 30 units of range, and it gets countered by Illuminate, because that gives you 45 units of sight. She really needs it. Desperately needs buffs. They've been asking for them for years. She just keeps getting nerfed over and over again. She's like a 40-something% win rate, if not lower. It's bad. She's down bad. She's so bad. Strix is... he's bad too. So Strix's only redeeming quality on the entire character is his gun, because it does 1,200 a shot. But when it's not scoped in, it shoots in random directions, anywhere on your screen, I believe, based on the spread on that thing. So that means the only way to shoot people is when you're scoped in. But because of how Paladin scopes work, specifically Canessa and Strix, their scopes take up the entire screen, so it's really hard to shoot people at close range with them. And then they nerfed his quick scoping, so you can't do that as well. I don't know when they did that, but it doesn't work as well anymore. So you're just kind of screwed. Like, this character's like a worse Canessa in every single way. If he did higher DPS, maybe you could consider playing. But no, if the other flank on the enemy team, or their DPS, anything on their team is semi-competent, he's going to die. He doesn't have any way to get away either. He's stuck like these. The only reason he's higher as them is because he can do one-taps. Talus, bad. Talus is like Koga. No, Koga and Lex, right? No upwards mobility. Lex has a wall climb. Or no, Koga has a wall climb. Wrong. I'm mixing these up. Koga can climb walls, right? Not a great upwards mobility, but if he needs to get to high ground, he technically can. Lex does good poke. Has good range. Has an ult that can change things around very quickly. Talus does nothing. The most thing you can do is maybe get a pick with your ult on the healer, but if the other team's semi-competent, the wind up on this thing is so long you're never going to get a kill with your ult. If the other team's competent, they'll know and they'll gun you down long before you get them. That thing needs way less cooldown on it. Should be a fast ult. Terminus. Terminus is fine. He can point tank. He's one of the 4 characters in the game who can actually competently point tank. Like, technically Makoa can, but Term has an invincible shield, so that makes him good. Problem is Terminus, he has to get close range, which is a major problem with any character. Because in a game where everyone else is using long-range weapons, the only other character in the game whose melee is Sky. Technically Buck. Buck has more range than Sky with his shotgun, by the way. So that's depressing. But the other melee characters technically have ways to get in close range, jump, invisibility. Terminus has a jump, but it doesn't go very far. His ult also takes way too long to go off. Never gets kills with it. Unless their team's bad. If you're getting kills with it, they're bad. Or someone on your team with crowd control is good. That's the 2 options. Either you have a good teammate who can crowd control someone into your ult, or the other team sucks. That's your 2 options there. His ult takes way too long to go off. Tiberius, he's fine. Does good damage. He's like a worse version of Cassie in pretty much every way. Thorvald, very strong. Silence is strong. Ult can knock people off the map, get kills with it. Gives crowd control immunity now, which makes it super good, because you can't get stunned out of your ult anymore or knocked around. Top of that, he can give shields to his teammates. So, strong. Tyra, good damage. I'm going to put her lower. So people say she's really good. She's a very strong anti-support, or anti-flank, right? And a good anti-tank, which seems good in this meta because everyone's running front lines. But the thing is, no one's running flanks, so that anti-flank thing is kind of Or if they're running flanks, they're like Vora, and they're really high self-sustaining, you can't kill them anyways. So there's that. But on the front lines, people are getting better and better at avoiding Tyra. Like, the longer it goes on, the better they are at getting her. And the next update, she's getting cripple removed from Burn Monster, which will make the build completely worthless. They need to, like I'm not saying they should not remove cripple. Cripple's really toxic on Burn Monster, right? So they definitely need to remove it. It's toxic in the exactly same way as Exterminate Furia, where no one says Exterminate Furia is balanced. You hit someone with that, they're dead. The only difference is Exterminate Furia, right, is hitting all the flank mains and the frontline damage mains, and they whine really loud, and there's a lot of them, and so they complain about it really a lot, which I'm not sure why Exterminate hasn't got nerfed yet. It probably will get nerfed. Burn Monster only has the front lines complaining about it, but there's not very many frontline mains, so it took a long time to get nerfed, but it's getting nerfed next update. So, yay for all of us frontline mains. But the thing is, burn monster you can't buy resilience against, so you're stuck. Exterminate you can. I think they really needed to nerf exterminate though. That's one of the things I hate about Furia. Everything in our kit's fine. Exterminate's just stupid though. It's OP and or it's not even like necessarily overpowered, it's just so toxic. The same with cripple on the fire grenade. You slap them on the ground, it's toxic. You could just be annoying with it, not even necessarily good. Batu, same as Maeve. Same as 7. Both hypermobile, all 3 of them hypermobile actually. These 5 are the like good flanks. They're all hypermobile, hard to get a lot of value out of, but if you practice with them, you can get a lot of value out of them. You can carry most games. You'd be a complete pain in the asshole. Victor, he's fine. Same with Vivian. They're both worse than Tyra. They don't have as much. The thing with Victor, though, he does have a good ult. You can shut down people pretty hard with that. Vivian, and less so. You can shoot things, and then you can shoot them more. Vora, okay, so Vora's not as good as Maeve, 7, Batu, Andro, or Evie. The thing with Vora, she has stupid amounts of self-sustain. So that makes her good. She's also very, very, very easy. Really, really easy champion. So if you need someone to get good value out of, just take Vora. Willow, solid. Yagrath, actually, Yagrath's still broken. Willow, one thing to go over. The Dead Zone is really good right now because caught early game, so there's no way to anti-heal, but then there's Willow, who can apply the anti-heal for you. So, you know, ta-da. Yagrath. Yagrath is still broken. I main Yagrath while I play her less right now because she's still kind of stupid. She's just completely busted and creates so much space. I was playing ranked yesterday, I drove by the enemy team, 4 of them are shooting at me. I activate my Q with give me shields, right? Roll back out. And my team can push it through the choke point because I just rolled past their backline. I didn't have to attack anything, I just drove by. They all started shooting at me. My stats weren't great at the end of the game, but I created so much space that... Because if they decide not to shoot it, you can plant and melt 2 or 3 of them without much effort. Her ult sucks, right? That was not the correct thing to nerf. Her ult should have been unnerfed. The thing with Yagrath, she needs a complete balance rebound. She needs DR removed in. Switched over to a different part of her kit damage or something. Because, yeah, no, it's not. It's stupid. Sin. He's like these ones, except he has no upwards mobility. He'd be up here if he had upwards mobility. He's a pain in the ass to kill, but he's no upwards mobility. Yang is solid. Healing. That's all. It's not steady healing, though. So, it's not good. You know? It's just her damage, I guess, is fine. She's not really an off support. Just don't run Ying, really. She's probably the worst out of every support in the game currently. See, I'd say she'd be higher, but you can destroy her deployables, which gets rid of her ult, so her ult's basically like a worse version of Grok or Grovers. So yeah, no, Ying's down. Bye-bye. That's the end of the video. I know a bunch of people are going to disagree with ranting, so go in the comments below and argue about it. And if it's actually, like, good criticism or something, I'll respond to you. If it's just you whining because I said your main sucks. Yeah, that's actually I might respond to you anyways, because it's amusing. Goodbye.